welcome to another amazing day at fmtraining.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. I'm here with the wonderful Nick Hunter and Ken Tooley, continuing an ongoing series we've been doing for basically the past month and a half, I'd say, which is a really cool concept. It is existing FileMaker file design and modernization workshop. Basically, Ken has very graciously given us his file, and Nick has been renovating it live, basically tackling it like a senior engineer would any FileMaker file in a project, which has been very cool. Tomorrow will be JS indicators, what is my latency meters in FileMaker. Friday will be on use idle triggers in FileMaker with Richard. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will be continuing the series. So, with that being said, if you'd like to support the channel, we would greatly appreciate it. We have 3 options. They're all video bundles, basically cover the FileMaker, how to use FileMaker, frankly. From beginning to intermediate and advanced developers, got a lot of options. We cover a lot of topics. Pretty much everything under the sun underneath the FileMaker platform to get started building your own solutions or to refresh information about solutions. You know about server, we talk about server. Nick has a UI course in there somewhere. We have also a course on certification in some of the files. There's a list of the video courses that you can go to that covers everything, and it's substantial. Also, it's much more condensed. So I know that occasionally I'll get messages being like, hey, the live streams are cool and they cover a lot of really cool stuff, but I don't like the format of the live streams. These are about 5 to 20 minutes, highly animated, and they pretty much cover the one topic it's talking about, and that's it. So, with that being said, I think I'm willing to hand it over. Nick, what are we doing today?
Hello, Marge. Hello, everybody. Hello, Ken, for joining today. So, thank you for the introduction. Thank you, everybody, for watching us today, and thank you for all the audience, and thank you for all the people watching this video afterwards, right? So, so I'm very happy to be there always, and it's always a pleasure to be there. Sometimes, I get mad. Sometimes, I say things and people try to challenge me and stuff like that. Okay. But after that, each time that happened, each time that somebody said, oh, yeah, I don't like your stuff. I want to do this, I want to do that. And boom, right after when I stop this, I do something for a customer. I'm doing exactly what I was talking, and I was doing what I was saying to do, and he said my butt. So I said, okay, I was right. Yeah, so everything we do here, so this is something I want to remind the people. Everything we talk about, that be me or the boss, Richard, or anybody that come here, they are people, right, with a high experience, right? So it's always like I'm saying always this. Let me do like I always do. Why? Because I know that's the reason. So sometimes we do things. Sometimes I'm doing things. I'm using techniques and stuff like this, and I don't remember why I came to that conclusion, right? But I know that's the reason, right? And every time something happened and I say, oh, thanks God I did that way. So now I know why I did that way, because the thing, came, and because I did that way, I don't have any trouble, right? I think the next session that I will do after this one, so next week, I will do a session about 2-3 things that I want to demonstrate to you. Okay, 2-3 things that I'm doing in order to get things done. Right? So it will be like something different, but I can include inside this webinar. But I want to demonstrate to you something that I'm doing. I have 2-3 examples here that I want to demonstrate to you that very cool. So that it can, it's not a big thing. There are simple things, stuff like that, but that could open you new ways, right? So that's always what I want to do. To wake up your brain, right, and say, okay, hey, yesterday I was. Sometimes I'm doing this because I love the guy. My house here was it's this guy here, right? This guy, I don't know if you can see it. I got that made like this. So and I have another portrait, and so is my guy, right? So and sometimes I'm watching videos of And I watched a video of when he introduced this thing, different kind of, different advertisement. I don't remember things different with Picasso and with Einstein. Okay. So I'm not saying that I'm Picasso. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying this, but thinking out of the box. So thinking differently, like come with new ideas and stuff. And that's why I'm challenging myself all the time. So sometimes I have a customer asking me to do something, and I say, yeah, but let's try something. Let's try if we can find a better way, right? So, and sometimes I could spend a day trying to do something differently, something better, and I don't even bill the customer, because it's not up to him to pay me for that, right? But because he asked me something, I try to reinvent myself. We should always do that way, right? So we have a way, and you can, and sometimes you can are receiving messages from people from the audience say, hey, you do that way, but I found out that way, following what you do, but doing quite differently is better. And most of the time I agree. I say, okay, yeah, I'm going to steal your stuff, right? So so that is how we build things. So it's very important to always open your mind and say, okay, yeah, it sounds weird. It sounds like, oh, why to do like this when we can do like in a better way, in a simpler way. Yeah, but it's not the simple. It's not always the best. When the best is always the simple. So it's it's kind of it's weird. What we do is always weird. Like a customer of mine is using ChatGPT. Okay, so that's a big thing. Okay, so and we are not out of business soon. Okay, soon we will at one point, right? We will. My job is I am I tell I am a TV repair guy in 1980. Right? We are a TV repair guy in the 1980. We still have we're years in front of us, but at one point but we need to reinvent ourselves. Okay, and I'm getting ready for that time. Getting ready. So that means who will ignore the technology? Who will ignore the new ways to do things? Who will stay stuck and don't think differently? Will get out. Will be out of the game completely. So we need to embrace those new tools and not reject them, right? And not say, it's not for me. I don't care. No. So, but we were a little bit with ChatGPT like this. I have a capture, right? I have a screenshot of this. And so I corrected him, right? So he was saying to me, I said, okay, yeah, but are you sure this is the best way to do that? Because I think that way is better. And he said, you're right. Sorry for the confusion. And thank you for correcting me. So pretty much what he said, right? So I was feeling good about it. What we're doing here, so we are going to continue this workshop stuff, and we're going to work on Ken's file. So let me share my screen here. So what are we doing here? So yesterday we fixed many things. So we have now the opportunity to when we click a document here, we show different style, different different organization of object here. So this here you have a date here, right? And this here we don't have the date. Okay, it goes away. So we learn about this, how we can do this. How we can have different presentations of the same thing, but organized differently and showing different fields without using heavy, complicated, and cumbersome to use hidden state with grouping of objects and stuff like that, right? Or having blanks. For example, if I want to hide here, I have the date, but here I don't. just hiding the date. So that means you have a blank here, which doesn't look good, right? And you add confusion to the, so always when you do when you organize a layout, you need to display always what it needs to be displayed, right? And not more, right? And
Right.
display, and you need to display always, you need to display. I mean, don't don't overload your, your layouts with things, right? With labels and buttons and stuff like that, right? Use menus, right? I know it's pain to use menu and use to layouts lighter and not confusing people and organize your layout that way. Okay, so I will come back, at this, right? But now what I want to do, so yesterday we fixed pretty much all those status. So we fixed the status, we fixed everything, so we have this. But something I didn't fix here, right, is when we, let's say here I have this, right, and here I have this, but I'm saying this. Okay, that means I have nothing working because I have no document selected, right? Here I have this document selected, but here I have no document selected. So this is no longer valid. So now, remember, we build here, right? We build a slide control. So we have a slide control here with two panels, right? You have a slide control with two panels. Now I have this object. So now this object tell layout say, okay, oh, hide it, show it, hide it, show it. I can do that now. So pretty much here, the TO5B. So this is a relationship I use to display those objects. Right? So if I want this to disappear, just I select this object here, the slide control, and I said here is empty and the main key. I mean, if I don't have something here, if the side relationship I have nothing, that means nothing selected. So that means you can get rid of it, hide it. So demonstration. So when you hear, now when I go there, it's blank. If I go there, it's not. It's blank. And if I click here, now I see the documents. And I click when I go back there, boom, it's blank. So now you say, yeah, it's blank, but it looks weird. Yeah, you're right. It looks very weird. So we are going to fix this. So what I want to do, when this object is gone, I want to display something, right? I want to display this, add or select file. So, and I have a style here that says filigrane, which is something I use to make this here. So I want this to be centered with this, right? So I want this to be centered and center here. And this is a floating thing. So this will stay there, right? Like this, right? So this, okay, add. So now I have this, right? So, and of course, I want this to disappear when is not is empty TO5B this. That means when there's something, go away. The other one is something, when nothing there, go away. This is when there's something, go away. So it's the opposite, right?
Right.
So now if I'm showing this, but what I was saying is, okay, so it just did. Now that this object is on top of the slide control, there's a danger to have this object on top of the slide control. The danger is this. As soon as you're going to touch it, you have the risk to get it included inside the slide control. Now this is included in the slide control. So when the slide control goes away, object will go away as well because it's inside the other slide control when I don't want that. So don't forget when you do this to put this object on the back. So now this object is on the back of the slide control, right? So we don't have any chance to get it included inside the slide control. So let's demonstrate. When you do this, right, you have this, add or select a file. So you know what to do, right? When you click here, you have this. When you click here, you have this, right? So now we have a complete UI, and thanks to the slide control, I can hide all those objects without grouping, right?
Because the slide control is kind of its own form of grouping.
Exactly. So, like 10 days ago, I demonstrate to the boss, right? I demonstrate to the boss that grouping objects in FileMaker it's a pain. Because when you group, let's say I'm grouping this. I'm doing this here, right? Now that they're grouped, you need to click here and you edit object in the group, and it's hard to include or remove object from group, right? You need to ungroup, and if you have a hidden condition on that group and you want to ungroup, it says, oh, you're going to lose your calculation. If you ungroup an object, a group of objects with a hidden condition, with a high condition, right? And you ungroup it, you lose it. You lose the calc. And that happened many times. So I demonstrated that already, but the best is to say, okay, I'm building a slide control with one panel because it's possible to have a slide control with only one panel. You put it translucent, you put there, right? Put there, right? Like this. You put that on the back. You select all your object inside this slide control. You select all of this, right? You move them one pixel like this. So now they are included in that panel, right? See? And now you can say, okay, I want to hide, the slide. You have the slide control, which is here, right? You hide the slide control, and you can edit the object, change the object, remove the object without, and you still have the hidden state working on all those objects. See? So yeah, the slide is kind of cool. It's a cool technique to do this. Okay, when you have to. Okay, so let's remove those. Let's remove the slide control here. So let's do this, remove this, and boom, put back here. Okay. So, do I have any question on this so far? I don't think so, but I'm asking in case of.
I haven't seen any, so I think you're good.
Okay. So we're done with the documents. So we have a fully working document, but now we are going to do we're going to take care of this balloon stuff, right? Right? So Ken, explain to us the balloon world. Okay, so we have a layout. This is a layout, right?
Yes.
So we have this, right?
So just like the pilots, there are documents associated with a balloon. Different documents, but the same concept. They have the same valid pieces to it. Each one has a little bit different piece of information to it, but basically it's the same concept for balloons as it was for pilots. And then just as a reminder, each pilot can have multiple balloons, and each balloon can be attached to multiple pilots, something we took care of in your cross-reference table.
Okay. So we are going to accommodate this, right? So that will be interesting because I'm going to show you how we recycle, how we build something based on something we already have.
Perfect.
Right? Okay. Especially this document thing, right? So I already did it, demonstrating how we can import the whole thing from one file to another, right? But now I'm going to show you how we can reuse all of those things for another entity. Okay. So we have the balloon table here, right? So we have the balloon stuff. We're going to use the same, right? But we're going to build another layout, right? So here we have a navigation here. So it's
We
not
never hooked
working.
that up.
Yeah, we need to hook it up. Yeah, okay. So now I'm screwed. Yeah, I'm screwed. Okay, so I have to. So I have always. Okay, this is a. What's the name? Cursor window, and I have nowhere to close. Right. So no way. Is that why in my script menu I always have a close window script step to be able to close that. Right. So go again. So I open. I'm stuck with this cast style because it's not built right, and I cannot get rid of it. So if you don't have this menu here, this in script here, there's no way you can close it. So you have to force quit your FileMaker, and the close window here is not available. Where's the close window?
Right.
Close, it's not available, right? And so that's why I have a script step, a close. Well, I close the window. Okay. So let's build this balloon stuff. So we have this, we have this 100, So let's create a new folder here, and let's name it pilots. Okay. So this folder here, we're going to put everything about pilot inside this object, right? So we put that here, and we include all of those things into pilot. Boom. Now we're going to build a new layout, a new folder, balloons, like this, right? Yeah.
Who else?
There are two L's, yeah. Just sorry, but
You'd be surprised how many times it's spelled wrong here in Albuquerque, the hot air balloon capital of the world.
I'm going to take this layout here, right? And I'm going to duplicate it, right?
Okay.
So that will help me because I will have pretty much everything there, right? And that help you for two things, right? So when you reuse the same concept, the same design, right? In all your solution, you can do something like this. So now I have this application. I put that in the balloon. I double click here. I call that 200. And this is the balloon dashboard. Okay. Call that balloon dashboard.
Singular, probably, yeah.
Right. And we go to the balloon table, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is where it belongs, right? This here, yeah, the balloon table. So we're going to take the same table. So we're going to take the same table as it was originally, right? And we're going to remove this, right? So clear those
right.
requests. They won't work because they belong to the pilots. So if I keep this, I might end up with on weird things, and I might end up with weird stuff. So we need to remove those things, right?
Right.
Because they don't belong. Okay. So now that I have this gone, so I have a new layout, right? Pretty much with this layout here, that is from the balloon, but everything now is point to the pilot table. So we're going to reorganize this, right? How to reorganize? Pretty much like this. We need to clear this from the table, right? So now we're going to invent the new pilot, the new balloon info display. Here we have this here. We build that line here, right? And I want to build the same concept for the balloon, right? So I'm going to borrow this field here in the table, right? So I'm going to go to the pilot, right? And borrow the pilot info stuff, right? This one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to copy that field and put in the balloon table, right? And I'm going to name it balloon info display, right? And I'm going to put inside the info I need to put, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
so here now, I can easily, so first of all, this is balloon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here, I'm going to the current table and I'm going to use this balloon info. Okay.
Right.
I didn't build it yet, but I'm going to.
But the field's
And
there. Yep.
yeah, the field there. So after that, what we need here, we need a balloon name, right? So we have a balloon name. Okay, so we put that the balloon name here. Balloon name, where are you?
Might just be name.
Yeah, because you have the label names. It's named balloon name here, but I can put myself in layout mode here. Yeah, and we're going to put here like I have. We have the status info display. I think we can do the same because we have a lot of statuses to build, right?
Yep.
So yeah, so I'm going to go back to the pilot and borrow the status display. Okay, I'm going to borrow this field here, right? I'm going to borrow it, and I'm going to put it in the balloon. Keep the same name in that field, status info. So I don't fix it yet. I just put on the layout, right? So far, yeah. Do we have a picture of the balloon? Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Status. So here we have the same organization, right? And this here, so what did we put here? We put the status conform. Okay. So here we have a balloon status, something like this.
Yep. Should be a status balloon, I think it's called.
So I'm going there, this one.
Yep.
So I'm going to put that here. And I heard that the width of this field is 13. Because when you double click on it, you expand it. But now I want to make it small again, so I put 13. I know I heard it's 13 points, right?
That's annoying that it doesn't keep that.
Yeah, but it's yeah.
But yeah, it is.
It should,
it is what it
go
is.
back. It should go back to. It should open up, and when you click here, go back to the original size.
That would be nice if it remembered it.
Yeah, but you know,
it doesn't.
You're asking too much. So something I need to show you. I need to go back to the pilot, right? And here we have the headshot in this pilot here.
We had it over in the document list. Yeah.
Is this?
That's the same thing. Yep.
Okay. So let's make this the same as this, right? So let's open this. Where's the pilots? So what's the name of this field here?
Of that
picture.
Of the picture for the pilot.
Yeah, the pilot is named picture, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's picture here. So this is the picture. Yeah. So I'm putting there because I want to copy it and put it inside my document table here. So I'm going to put here and paste it, right?
Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah.
This is the headshot. Oh yeah, it's 4 meg. See
Yeah.
here, you see this, how this cool
That was,
is
yeah, that's really
4.5
helpful.
meg. Okay. So this is cool because now you know you have, okay. Like, for example, I have a file recently, like 2 days ago, customer came and said, hey, we have a message saying that the database is 10 gigabyte big. So I have a message saying, okay, your database is 10 gigabyte. Call me with my number and we need to talk. Okay, pretty much what I was saying in the message. So they called me and say, yeah. And I said, this is totally abnormal, right? So what happened is they inserted in a container a PDF that was 4.5 gigabytes.
That'll get you there.
Okay. So, and suddenly the file was, expanded, and then at startup, so pretty much I'm using this function here, right? And the get file size. And if you want to get it, you have the bytes size number, and that is. So I have this byte size number custom function,
right,
that tells you this is 38.36 gigabytes, because this gives you this, which is bytes, not megabytes, right?
and we're all really good at converting that in our head.
Yeah. So yeah, but I'm using this, so that means I can say, okay, if it's better than 4 million, and if it's more than this, then pop a message saying, okay, call me. Okay.
Yeah.
That means
Okay.
we need to talk. We need to talk about something. So yeah, that's what I mean. So just something I tell you. So now I want to show you something here back in the pilot table. So now I want to use that. I want to use this here, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to keep the picture here, but I'm going to call it picture. Actually, I'm going to call it thumbnail, headshot thumbnail. This, and I'm going to change the name, right? And now that I have this, I need to get inside this headshot thumbnails. I need to get the headshot that I have in my documents.
Right. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going. Yeah, makes sense. So I'm going there, and I'm going to get the ID of the headshot. Okay. So I have this now. I'm opening this. I duplicate this, and I'm going to call this headshot ID, right? And I'm going to use a relationship for that, right? From the pilots, and I'm going to name this J, and this is headshot, right?
Yep.
From the, I'm using that from on the document. I'm pointing to the documents. Let me like this, and I'm saying, okay, the same pilot from and doc type. Where's the headshot? Headshot. Pop. So now that I have this and this, I can go back here in the headshot thumbnail. Okay. Here, what do I want? I want a trigger. Remember my trigger? So I want a trigger to get up when I want, right? So I'm going to use this trigger. And I add get thumbnail. Yeah, get thumbnail, right? The field is TO5J of the container, right? But I already have a thumbnail in the container, file thumbnail. So I want this. So I'm borrowing the thumbnail from one field to another. Okay?
But then we wouldn't need to get a thumbnail of a thumbnail.
No. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. I don't need this. So I'm getting this. Right?
Yep.
T.
Right.
I'm getting this. I'm borrowing the thumbnail. And here, so that the answer of, I don't know if it's David Danger or Stu, well, asking when am I using the trigger or the auto entry calculation or the relookup. Here, it's a great example of when to use a relookup and when to use a trigger. This is a great example. And I'm going to explain why. So let me finish it first, okay? So you understand now, you remember that on that layout, I have an on commit. I have an on commit, right? That's
on the pilot's layout. There's one.
on the pilot layout that will re-trigger all those triggers, right? In the layout, right? All the auto entry calculation in that table will be triggered each time you commit. Bam, I'm okay. So whatever, if I change the headshot, the trigger will update it, you know. So I have this, and I'm going to explain. I'm going to build everything, showing everything, and then I'm going to explain the difference between relookup and auto entry calculation.
Okay.
So here, I need now, remember, I need these globals, all of those things, you know, to be set at startup because they're globals, right? So I duplicate this and I say, okay, go there. Where's the headshot? Headshot ID, and this is the headshot ID I want. This is the ID for the headshot. And I trigger that script because now, right now, my relationship won't work because that field is empty. I just created it.
Right.
Okay. Here, empty. But if I trigger that script here, now, I will get something. Boom. So now my relationship works. And at startup, this script is triggered. Boom. And I get this at each startup. I get this in my globals. Okay. So now it's easy, right? This picture here will get updated, right? So if I'm here, right? So let's blank it to make sure that we see the change, right?
You wiped me out.
I changed it to headshot thumbnail. So I'm getting rid of this, right? And if I commit, it will come back. But if I need to commit something, so I need to do it came back. So I go away, and if I commit, right, it will come back. And if I said, okay, this is my headshot now, not this one. So so let's say I'm changing this to tests. So now I have no headshots. So what will happen here? Boom, I have no headshot. And if I said I want this one as an headshot, right? And I commit, it will come back this as a headshot. Boom, right? So now we have a direct connection between that table and so let's see, get rid of this. And so it will get away. And if I click here, I make that headshot and it's back. right? It commits. You remember I have a time, it's waiting 2 seconds.
Yeah,
You know,
that
to
2 second
commit.
in there. Yep.
Yeah. So now we have a great. So why I'm doing this? So let's explain two things. Why I'm borrowing. Why I don't just say, oh, we have a relationship, right? Why I don't say this? I go there and I say, okay, go to the TO5J since I have the relationship, and I'm borrowing this. Where's the file thumbnail, right? Why don't do this? It works, it works. The same. Yeah, but good luck to scroll this. Good luck
Because
to
it's having
scroll
to
it.
relook that up each time.
It will be like so freaking slow. It won't work. It's totally, completely, almost unusable. Okay. So that's why I prefer to borrow it, right? We call that borrow, So I borrow I'm borrowing this inner auto entry calculation, right? To get the thumbnails inside. It's so small, because the thumbnail is let's have a look at how much the weight of this, right? Because I just want this to be here. I don't want the big thing, right?
Right.
Because the big thing is there in a document, so I don't need a big font here, right?
Right.
So I have a byte container size, right? And I just go there and I want to see how much this weight. Okay, it's 120 kilobytes. So
And the file was 4 megabytes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, because we have a thumbnail, so
Yeah.
it's a very small version of it. So it's nothing. It's 100 kilobytes. So the server won't even sit, right?
Right.
Of course, if you do that with 4 megabytes, yeah, you're in trouble. It will take some time. But here we have a very small thing, so I can do it, right?
Yeah.
So this is what, and this will scroll smoothly because the thumbnail is small and it's not a related table. Now, why not the relookup? And why the auto entry? If I use my script on commit here, on commits, where's on commit? Right. The on commit, right? Go there, and it's very simple. I set the ID, the variable with the ID of the pilot. I commit from that pilot. So on the server said, okay, grab the ID, go to the layout pilot, look for that pilot, right?
All right.
And then set this field. And then I'm setting this field for that pilot, right? And I have all my auto entry calculation, right? To look up, I would have said, oh, relook up this. I would have to have both, right?
I see. Yeah.
So you do two things. So depending on what you have on the lookup on your parent key, you might end up doing things that you don't need. So I want to do I'm using auto entry here because I want this to be controllable, right? With this trigger technique of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Along with others auto entry calculation. I don't want to take care of, I need to relook up and no. I want to have on commit. I have one action and one only. So I'm putting in auto entry calculation everything that I want to be triggered on demand. I cannot do this on relookups. I cannot do that I cannot say, oh, by the way, I'm modifying one field and I want all the lookup to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because if you have lookups on multiple relationship, you need to relook up all the keys involved in those relationships. So you end up having something super slow, super complicated to manage. Here it's simple. So this is why I'm using relookup sometime, and sometimes I'm using auto entry calculation, right? So
Yeah.
this is the main reason why I'm doing this, right? So that technique here, so why it's cool? Because we have one centralized place where we have all the documents. And you can see we can use a document for many things, right? So we can use the relationship and say, okay, oh, I want to see that feature here, right?
Yeah.
You can include, let's say, for example, let's say here, right? I want a script, for example. I want to export my medical certificate, for example, right? So I'm here and I want a button that says, button, not a field, export medical, right? So what do I need to do? A single script step that is export field content, which field, right? So the TO5 medical file container. That's it. So I have a export medical, correct?
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Yes.
So I don't even care about which one is selected here. I don't care. This will export the medical certificate, medical JPEG, right?
Uh-huh.
So a single script step, and I can cherry pick whatever I want from that table.
Because of the way
So
we set it up.
exactly. So let's say I want now to do something like this. Export certification. Certification. But remember, the certification is two documents.
Right.
It's the front and back, right?
Right.
Okay. So I want to are there PDFs? Yeah, they're PDF.
No,
Right?
they're some sort of image file. JPEGs or
Okay.
PNGs.
Okay. So I want to export both, right?
Yes.
So so I can build a script, okay, here, that is name export certification front and back. I said export field contents, which field? The TO5 certificate front, right?
Yeah.
Correct. And export certificate back, right? But I don't want to get twice the save. If I do that right now, it will ask me twice to save something. Okay? It will say save this and say, I don't want that.
Right. Save
So,
as this, save as this.
okay, we get the folder path where you want to save this. Okay. Normally I call that path. Yeah, go to for the path. Okay. Path. Right. And on my export here, I put path here. On this one.
So it
And
already
on
knows
this.
where to put it.
Yeah. Right? So I have which field and the path.
And where?
But here, it's missing something.
Yeah. What is the path?
No. I will get it. You will see.
Yeah. Right.
Get last error. If I have an error, just alt it. Why? And I'm going to show you. So now I have this nice button here. I'm going to use that export certification front and back. So I click here and it calls for
okay. Where?
Okay, where. But if I cancel, oh, sorry, I forgot to do something here. Set error capture. Okay, so let's say I don't have this. Okay. If I debug this, right? I go there. Oh, I didn't save it. So I go there. I get the path. I cancel it. And now I don't have a path. So
Right.
this won't work. Right?
Yeah.
It continues. Now with this, I click here. I get the path. And I say, oh, forget about it. So I get an error. User cancel action. So, boom, boom. Bye. So I don't get errors. I'm there, right? And I said cancel, right? So far, so good. So now let's, this is Ken. Let's put Ken here. Okay. So now I'm going there and I say, okay, I'm selecting Ken and I want to select this folder. And I want to save the two inside. So now I have in Ken, I have nothing. Why? Export path. What happened here? Container. The front. Oh, do I have it? Front and back. Certificate back and certificate front. I have both. Okay. So let's debug it. So layout object. Oh, yeah. So, okay. Layout object missing. So for this button here, yeah, I know why. Because it's I don't have the objects, right?
We have to go
So
to a layout that does.
Yeah, I need to have that on the layout, right? So this is a good thing because yeah, I forgot to put the layout. I need the field in the layout because even the field is there. I don't have the field with that, you know, with those things here. Right? Export, right? So the two here, right? So we have two ways to do that. But the first way, and is, you know, I want to do the simpler one. I'm putting this two here. So I'm putting in the layout, right? I'm putting this here. So I'm going there. So where the certificate front, file container, yeah.
Yeah.
So here, and I have another one, certificate back. They are here in the layout, outside.
So now they'll be there.
So now they'll be there. So here, I'm in Ken, select, and export. And it didn't. Okay, cool. I think they need to be on the layout, huh? Let's see. Each time I forget about this because I don't use really that technique anymore, but I don't want to. Yeah, I said yes and yes. Export path. So why? That's weird. So let's see if I see something here. Yeah, they're there. So do they need to be on the layout? No. Wow. That's super weird.
And you wanted to end on time.
Export field content. You should tell me this. That weird, huh? Do I misspell this? Path? Path. No. Oh, yeah, it should be good. So let's see what this folder stuff says, okay? I'm surprised that it doesn't work because I don't even have an error though. So select. So here I'm going there and I'm going to see what the path here. Yeah, we good. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know what. Yeah, sorry for that. Rookie mistake. Let's explain why. When you export here, and I give you the here, it expect to see this. FileMaker, FileWin, file. I need to have those before to have the directory name. I need to have this word.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's why I'm saying that directory, that rookie mistake. Okay, this is a directory or folder. This is a folder. Okay, and then I'm going to set a variable that I call path. Okay, and there's two things missing here. Two things missing. Okay, path is this. First, I have the file prefix. This is a custom function of mine that says FileMaker, FileWin, depending on which
On the platform. Yep. Okay.
platform.
Right.
And whatever the folder says, right?
Uh-huh.
And I need the name of the file, right? Maybe not. Yeah, I need the name. I need the name of the file here. So the first path would be this, and T05 front file name, right?
Uh-huh.
This will be the path for this one. And now I have another one. So I'm resetting the same name, but I'm using the front. The same ding, but here will be the front.
The back.
The back, sorry. Right? So I explain. I'm getting the folder name.
Yeah, I got. Yeah.
The folder. Then I say, okay, FileMaker, FileWin, like it wants to be here. Right?
Yeah.
I need to have this, the directory, and the file name. That's why normally I call this directory. Right? But I need two. The file name will come from this one, and the file name will come from this one.
Mm-hmm.
So now it will work. So we don't need that to be on the layout. So we can put back. But I want to demonstrate how we can use those relationships for all the things that just showing on the layout, right? So now we can and bring it.
There it goes. Yep.
Right? So now
Second one.
I have this and this. Okay? Set back, set front. Okay? So this is how you do this. So now we have different export from another table without complication. Because let's say I don't have those relationships. Let's say I just have a table like this. So how you do this? You understand? Thanks to the relationship, I can have now direct access to a given type of objects, a type of documents, right? Without crazy things, right? So do we have any questions based on this?
We do have 3 questions from Stu. Can you clarify your criteria for using a relookup versus using a trigger?
Okay. So the criteria of today is this. The trigger can be controlled. We can control it, right? I can decide when, okay? And I can have multiple triggers. So here, I can have, say, okay, let's say I have 50,000 triggers. So I can say, okay, I want this auto entry calculation using that trigger. I can say, oh, I want this one to be on the second one. And I can have this one on the third one. Okay. So you can do selection of triggers first. You cannot do that on the relookup. You have to relookup on the field. You need to point the relookup on the parent key. And that will relook up all the lookups that belongs to that parent key. So you don't have this type of selection. Okay, first. Secondly, I already have in my script, I have auto entry calculations for those certificate status and stuff like this, right? So I have this. This cannot be a lookup. It has to be an auto entry calculation. So I already have an action on my server, on my script to say, okay, modify, update that field to trigger all my auto entry calculation. So, and that in that case, I can include in that action of modifying that trigger, I can include as well something that could be a lookup, but I don't put that lookup because I want to be triggered, all the other triggers. I don't want a special treatment for that. Okay, so that's my selection. My selection is when I want to have a control, and my selection is because I already have an action that is going to update auto entry calculation. So I'm including in that action something that could be either a lookup or auto entry calculation, right? And also, if you, let's say you have a found set. I have a found set here, right? And you want to trigger something on this record only, but I have 11 records. I don't have only one. I have 11 records, right? So you follow me. If I said set field, the trigger, the auto entry calculation trigger, it will reset, it will trigger only the auto entry calculation of that record. And it will leave it alone the 10 other records. Right?
Right.
Okay. If I do a lookup, it will up on the 11 records.
Everything
I
in the
have no
found
way
set.
on the found set.
Yeah.
Right? So this is also another of my decision maker. Say, okay, I don't want to isolate records, pretty much to say, omit the record, right? And show the omitted. To isolate that record and do a lookup on that record only. I don't want to do that. I want to show all. I'm setting a field trigger only the auto entry calculation on that record. And if I do relookup, it will do the relookup on the 11 record. I don't want that. So that also my other decision maker to use auto entry calculations. If that answers the question?
Did that answer the question, Stu? Oh, that is all one question. Whoops, I did not understand.
So I think
So,
the second part
I'm
of the
kinda
question
like-
there is does a container or the size of a file in a container have anything to do with the deciding whether it's a lookup or a count?
It will be
Thank you,
as
Ken.
slow as it will be as slow as on both. So I'm using that borrowing technique, because I know I'm going to borrow a small thing. But if you don't use that technique, if on the other side you have a 40 gigabytes file in your container, here I know I will never have a big one because the get thumbnail on my document will always limit my document size, right? I get this file here. I always have a 200 by 200, which is a very small version of the documents.
Right.
Right. I will never borrow a big thing that will destroy your performance, right? So you need to take care of this. You need to know what you're doing. So that technique of borrowing, first of all, I'm borrowing because I want to display on layout, right? And secondly, I know I'm controlling the size of the file original. The file is 4.5 gigabyte, but this one I'm borrowing, we displayed by 122.
Right.
So 122 is okay. 4.5 megabytes is already too big. You understand?
But it's a good picture.
It is. It's a very nice picture. So if we don't have another,
I think we're good. So I'm gonna
okay,
wrap
so
us
we're
up.
good. So I want to close on time, but I will never do that.
I appreciate the sentiment, Nick.
I try my best, but I always I get something, I get excited and
We're gonna still get a file after today. We're gonna be able to do that?
yeah. I need to talk to Jacob. I totally forgot that. My bad. I forgot to talk to Jacob. I don't have access to my console, so I need to get access, or I need to ask Jacob to get it out, right?
Yeah, I understand.
But I will do that right now. I'm doing right. So see
Thanks,
you next
Nick.
week, guys. Thank you, Ken. Thank you very much.
Bye. See everyone in a
Bye,
bit.
guys.
Bye.
Got a report of an individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir!